In the wild western wastelands of the Great White North, two gay lefty scumbags embark on an endless pursuit for the true meaning of wokeness. This is Woke in the West. Welcome, Woke in the West. I think this is episode 10 now.
Numero 10.
Woo! Yep. This calls for a little celebration.
Woohoo! That's probably all we could get away with legally.
I've been listening to that song for other reasons, which we will not get into.
Maybe in a few weeks.
Yeah, maybe. Big news coming from Prince George, or Prince Rupert. I always get them mixed up.
Yeah, honestly, like, it's not talked about enough, but I would totally be in favor of, like, the renaming of British Columbia to something more, like, indigenous.
British Columbia!
I feel the same way with every Prince George, Prince Rupert, Prince Edward crap thing that we have in this country.
Prince William.
Rename it all, because there's too many Georges. I can't keep track. But
Walmart. Walmart permanently closes doors in Prince Rupert, BC.
Did you hear that there's a recession coming?
Yeah, wow.
Do you think Walmart closing is a recession indicator?
Nah, it'll be fine.
You know, I don't know if we have an article up for this, but also there's been a number of Starbucks that have closed in Canada as well. Is Starbucks closing a recession indicator?
Well, at least we still got Tim's, I guess, which we have a story about later on.
Yes, that we do.
Store served shoppers who traveled from remote communities with limited budget.
Yeah, the Walmarts out in the British Columbia interior, they tend to kind of be like the outposts with everything.
The trading post, the old fur post
They're
kind
like
of thing.
The general store
basically.
Of those communities. I've never really been around the interior of BC all that much. I've certainly never been to Prince Rupert or Prince George, but I don't know how sparse these Walmarts are up there, but I have to imagine that there's not that many. So to lose one, and assuming there's no mom and pop community convenience stores to fill the gap, that's gotta be rough.
Yeah. The store had been temporarily closed since July 30th due to concerns about its building. But in a Facebook post Monday, the company said the closure will now be permanent, effective immediately. We know how much the community valued this store, and while this is not the outcome we hoped for, this decision was only made after a full review of options. So they basically closed the store for renovations, and then they saw the winds of change happening, and they were like, you know what, fuck it, let's just close this fucking thing down.
And the next closest Walmart location is in Terrace, BC, 144 clicks away on a highway that winds between the Skeena River and Coast Mountains without a passing lane. Wow.
Can you imagine just like traveling almost 150 kilometers just to go grocery shopping, just filling up your SUV or your truck or whatever, just full of groceries and making that trip? Like that's insane to me that people still live that way in certain parts.
Yeah, the people up there. And you know what? I'm gonna go even on a woker limb here and say that I am disappointed that the government doesn't step up and like run sorts of like subsidized like convenience grocery stores out in the interior for these people, because again, what are we doing? We're relying on American company like Walmart to give a shit about the people that live out there in those sparse communities. And the second that it's not profitable for them, they leave. The same reason that Greyhound stopped servicing all those areas. It's honestly, it's a disgrace. And it makes me really upset. And when it comes to the elbows up movement, you know,
this is the kind of shit we're talking about.
This is exactly the kind of shit we're talking about. Yeah. Less reliance on American businesses and companies, please.
The exact reason for the original closure has been unclear since July 30th when the Facebook page for the Rupert Square Mall posted a photo of a sign indicating the... So they saw this and they literally saw the writing on the wall.
Wait, what did that say? That there was no communication with the mall?
Dear Prince Rupert, I saw this coming to work this morning. Please contact Walmart as there was no communication with the mall. Thank you, management.
Wow.
A statement to the management of the mall, I guess? Or of the Walmart? I don't know. Huh. Interesting. So yeah, zero communication. They just packed up their circus tent and left, basically. Ostensibly just temporarily at first, but looks like it's a permanent thing.
Wow. Yep. We're going to start to see more and more of this, I think. More and more business closures. And they're not going to announce it. And it's something I've seen. We kind of briefly touched on it a couple of weeks back when we talked about that meat-free Canadian company, the Eves company, going out of business. I remember that. Yeah. Like they're learning not to announce that they're closing. You just do it and then deal with the repercussion. But if you announce it, you're going to do it before you do it, then you have even more repercussion time to deal with. Mm-hmm. But if you don't announce it,
just do it.
Yeah. then who cares who you hurt, because you're not around to deal with the fallout anyway, right?
Like scorched earth policy.
Exactly.
Almost.
That's the era of late stage capitalism we're in.
Speaking of things being ended, Canada Post to end door-to-door delivery. Close some offices, says Ottawa. Wow. Canada Post will be allowed to end door-to-door mail delivery to individual addresses and close or convert some post offices in a bid to stabilize its operations and restore its financial footing. So yeah, no more mailman coming to your door. No more dogs barking at the mailman. You know what? That's what the mailman is for, though. I don't want to have to get up and go to the friggin' post office.
Yeah, I talked to one of my friends about this, and that's what I was pulling up here on my phone, because I wanted to read what they had said about it. And essentially what my friend, who kind of leans very progressive, but more green and nihilistic than anything, they're like, costs are high, and what's the highest waste of expense we have? And they answer, we still mail door to door for only 10% of the population. If we get rid of those routes, we'll save an absolute metric fuck ton of money. Like, why are people not getting it? And the reason that I talked about it with him was that there was a funny tweet that I don't know if we have in this post, but it was a post from the Liberal account.
Oh, yeah, we have that.
Yeah,
it's right here.
From 2015 saying, we are not going to end door-to-door mail like Harper said he will, and just add a decade onto that. And gee whiz, how the tides have turned. Because, yeah. And also, like, my friend asked me kind of facetiously, like, when's the last time you got home delivery? And I'm like, I've only ever had home. Like, I don't know how you do it here, because you live in more of like a housing like complex, but I've only ever lived in single detached homes. So I've never known a community mailbox. I've never like had to leave my house to get mail before. I can't speak to how that, impacts people on a day-to-day basis, but for me, it's never been a factor.
Mail. We still have a mailbox. We get our mail. Yeah.
And my godfather was actually one of the high ups at Canada Post for many years. I think he was a union leader and stuff too. So that's the other consequence of this, is that there's a lot of staff and union people with Canada Post that are really upset about this now. What the fuck has Carney even done so far? Like, I'm sorry, but like, we don't even have a slide for this pulled up today either yet. But Carney literally had a meeting with Trump today where they just sat in the White House again. Trump tried to intimidate him by surrounding him with the cabinet ministers and the yucksters like JD Vance. And what came out of it? Nothing. No agreement signed, just another waste of time, waste of taxpayer money on both ends. I'm getting really, really upset. I'm like, I don't know. We already have been taken to the streets out here, but like, what is happening right now?
Yeah.
Like, I'm waiting for the crash, and we need to fortify ourselves, and it doesn't seem like we're doing a damn thing.
No.
I'm really annoyed.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll stop Harper's plan to end door-to-door mail delivery. This is from June 24th, 2015.
Yep.
This is back when Trudeau was running, I think.
Yep, he hadn't even been elected yet.
And now here we are. Womp womp. 10 years later. Liberal government frees Canada Post. So yeah, shadow conservative government theory.
Yeah, I mean, the Liberals are governing to the right of Harper right now. And that's why the Conservatives are having such a tough time differentiating themselves. So I desperately need the left in this freaking country to pick up some momentum, pick up the shattered pieces of the NDP and the Greens, and just like do something. God, I'm so exhausted. And we only just started the episode.
Yay!
Yeah, things are not getting better. Are you ready for the crash, everyone? Here's another prediction. I'm going to put it on the record right now. I believe that the .com bubble crash was, I think it was 50% of the stock market value was wiped out in the 1987 crash. I watched a video about this. I'm probably getting some of the numbers wrong, but I believe that the most that the market has crashed is 80%. I'm going to go so bold as to say that when the crash happens this time, we're going to lose 100% of the value. Maybe not all of it, but I think that it'll at least be halved significantly. I saw something that was talking about how the shares for some of the big companies, the 7 big companies on the stock market right now, like Nvidia, Apple, Meta, Alphabet, Google, all that crap, they're all paying out more per share. And Tesla is leading the way in that, and that they're valued at 389% over what their share value is.
Jeez.
So that's not good or sustainable. And I don't know when this episode will come out, but the last stock crash, Black Monday, That was October 29th, right?
Sometime in October,
late
87.
October. So,
yeah.
hey, this might be coming out before or after the crash. So
it could happen. It could happen while I'm editing this video.
It could happen, and I'm sure Eric, the editor, will add a little message. Yeah. Should it happen?
Are you guys ready for speed deaths to come back to Ontario? Because it looks like Mr. Ford thinks that speed cameras are a waste of money and a cash grab. I don't know. I think keeping people in check to drive the speed limit is kind of important, but that's just me.
Yeah, I kind of think that monitoring, difficult intersections with a camera that is indiscriminate in who it gets in trouble. I bet he's only doing this because he had a family member get a ticket or something. Yeah. Like, we know Ford is not good at...
he's that kind of guy.
Yeah,
he would
exactly.
do that.
He's not good at separating, like, what's good government policy with what his petty grievances are. And at the same time, when he's making a big show of, like, pissing off, or not pissing off, but, like, making a show of angering... that whiskey company?
Yeah, I remember that.
Crown Royal.
Crown Royal.
And he also went after another alcohol manufacturer too. And so he's very good at being performative, but like, I don't see how removing the red light cameras really does anything except encourage more speeding.
Yeah.
So
Ontario Premier Doug Ford said Thursday morning that his government will soon table legislation to ban the use of speed cameras, a traffic enforcement tool Ford had called an ineffective tax grab. This is from CBC. This is funny. Despite study findings and the opinion of police associations and municipalities to the contrary, Ford said speed cameras don't slow people down, and the province plans to establish a new provincial fund to help municipalities put in place other proactive traffic calming initiatives that stop people from speeding in the first place. What the fuck does that mean?
That includes
speed bumps, roundabouts, raised crosswalks, and curb extensions.
All of which are notoriously cheaper than just putting a fucking camera in.
Yeah.
Psych!
Jesus.
Nope, we're talking about full road work. You want your city to be even bogged down with more construction? Let's rip up perfectly good sidewalks and make them raised and put some curb extensions, all so that we don't want to find the poor drivers, guys.
Yeah. Even though the police and studies say that cameras are effective. Nope.
Anytime I read it,
leave it to a conservative to fucking ignore the data.
Yeah. Anytime I see a Ford story, I can feel myself getting dumber just by looking at him. I really don't know how I would survive in Ontario. Ontario is a wasteland. Let's move on. I hate Ontario. In super late election news, well, the troubled riding of Terrebonne continues to make headlines as a single ballot went unreported for 3 weeks because of a postal error on the side of the person who mailed the envelope, I believe. And there's this whole legal rigmarole going on in Terrebonne because Québécois lost the seat by 1 vote. And so they're all cranky about it. Not that this really would have changed the government that much, but it's just, maybe it says something to the sloppiness of the way that some of the mail-in ballots have been handled lately.
It's just worth noting that these things do happen sometimes. Sometimes things just slip through the cracks like this.
And it's unfortunate when it happens with such a razor-thin margin, like in this Terrebonne riding. But yeah, ultimately, it really wouldn't have made that much of a difference, but it could go to court. And that would be a really big step. As of right now, I think they're still in the, like, running around like chickens with their head cut off as they find more and more votes that were not actually counted or that were written wrong or whatever it is. Discovered errors on special ballots.
Around April 6, 2025, a supervisor for the riding discovered an error on a special ballot, noting that while the address was correct, the postal code on the return ballot was his own and not that of the returning officer. He estimates a minimum of 40 envelopes had already gone out with the wrong code, and possibly more. Oh, man. Whew, human error. But I'd rather take that over a voting machine. Still.
Yep, I definitely would as well. And I'd also take a Liberal minister, I guess, over another Bloc Québécois minister. So,
Meh.
Just updating our good listeners if they want to know what the state of democracy in this country is. Not good.
Better than the States, though.
A lot better than the States. Oh boy, there has been some shakeups in the BC provincial government over the last couple of weeks. While the NDP has continued to maintain their, strong, marginally progressive coalition that doesn't seem to have done much again in the past few years, at least they're not imploding on themselves like the Conservative coalition.
Oh, it's great to see.
Which continues to expel members for all sorts of heinous racist crap, most recently pertaining to our the holiday that we had in this country, the Truth and Reconciliation Day, regarding Indigenous rights and recognizing the atrocities that our government has committed against them.
For the normies, the non-Canadians, I should say, that might need some context as to what that is. Back in like 2021, I want to say, there was a big finding at a residential school, which is where we used to take Native children to be re-educated to be good white folk. There was a mass grave that was discovered with the corpses of a bunch of Indigenous children that were at the school. So the government decided we should have a national holiday to sort of recognize all the horrible things we've done to our Indigenous population.
Yes.
And
we won't get them any clean drinking water, but we'll
nothing
make a
important.
holiday so that all the white people that work 9 to 5 office jobs can get a day off to feel good about themselves.
So we can feel guilty. Yeah. No actual substantive things done.
No, but
we don't need that.
In BC, meanwhile, conservative MLAs have been straight up being booted out of the caucus because they are posting things online that are anti-Indigenous, and there's
residential school denial, stuff like that.
A lot of that.
Yeah,
and they've started, I think, like 2 new parties in like the last few weeks as well.
Oh, man.
One is called the One BC Party, and the other one, I've only seen an acronym, is CNBC, but I don't even know what it means. There was a good polling that they just did in response to this conservative cracking in in their team, and in this polling, the NDP is still holding firm at like 44%. The Conservatives have only lost ground. They lost like 6 percentage points, and the 2 new parties are like 4 and 1%. So it's like they're not doing anything. They're just fracturing themselves even more, which you love to see, but I could do without the racism.
Yeah. Of course, a party like the One Party of Canada or whatever the fuck it's called, of course they would be like
all that stuff is always very like deliberately like coded to avoid saying the quiet part out loud. I mean, like we talked about it before. What was the name of the far right party in Norway that lost a couple of weeks ago? The Progress Party. They're just liars. And with the way that we are living in this world now where people are too stupid to know what words mean, it really scares you. And it scares me because they're taking advantage of how dumb people are.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
These opportunistic, racist monsters.
There's a little blurb of Mark Carney in response to his family history. If we don't learn from our parents' mistakes, we become them. Watch Prime Minister Mark Carney handle this question about his father. No attack, no outrage, no finger pointing, no blaming anyone else. I love my father, but I don't share those views.
Yes. We can provide the backstory, but I think the clip should be able to do it just fine.
I've learned.
There are several articles out about your father, specifically about how he was a principal at a federal Indian day school and went on to defend residential schools. Do you share his views that residential school founders were not ill-intended and that Indigenous-led studies highlighting these negative effects of these institutions were, quote, slanted?
I love my father, but I don't share those views, to be absolutely clear. It's a long, painful part of our history. I've learned personally, we've learned as a nation. We're in a process of the damage, of the fundamental damage of residential schools and day schools to those who attended them, those who were their descendants, if I can put it that way, the culture as well, and a very necessary, essential process of reconciliation, truth and reconciliation, has begun.
Name drop.
At the core of my government, as it was the case at the core of the previous government, will be to advance that process of reconciliation. That's a fundamentally and deeply held personal commitment of mine.
Awesome. Good job, Carney. Now, where is the clean drinking water for the thousands of communities across this country that don't have it?
Don't worry about that.
Yeah, who needs actual follow-up? We can just, sign a thing, make a plaque, and go home. We can all go home.
Yeah, it's going back to the residential school stuff we were just talking about. Interesting, when they talked about going in with good intentions, that's what his father said, the people who ran the residential schools. I'm sure they, in their own minds, had good intentions to some degree. Because we were watching Yellowstone just recently, and that spin-off show, 1923, that Catholic priest who ran that residential school, the one who like
They
brutally
believe
beat
that
the
they
native
are
chicks. Like
doing
I'm sure,
it for the
I'm
right
sure,
reasons.
yeah, I'm sure they 100% believe they were.
They
in the
believe that
right.
they're saving these
Yeah,
godless
absolutely.
heathens.
They had the best of intentions in their own warped kind of way. It just kind of shows you that morality is more subjective than you'd like to believe.
Yeah, most things in life are subjective.
Mm-hmm. Anybody want a cup of coffee? Well, you're gonna have to pay more for it now. Yay!
Tim Hortons announced that they will raise coffee prices and called their own hike more than reasonable. It's the first time that Tim Hortons has raised their prices in, I think it was at least 2 years or something like that.
In a
First time in 3 years.
Statement to CTV News, a Tim Hortons spokesperson said the restaurant chain is raising coffee prices for the first time in 3 years, suggesting that compared to inflation, the price increase of 1.5 cents per cup was more than reasonable. 1.5% per cup. Okay. The price of coffee beans has more than doubled. According to MarketWatch.com, the price jumped from $2.21 to $5.45 per pound over the last 3 years. That's a lot.
More than double.
The coffee chain said that the price hike would boil out to an average of 3 cents per cup. Outside of drive-thrus, Canadians paid 27.9% more for their coffee at grocery stores.
Yeah, the thing that made me annoyed was this part here, how the U.S. tariffs affect your cup of joe. Although most of Canada's unroasted coffee comes from Mexico and the global south, roasted coffee largely comes from the U.S. because everyone in this country is too stupid to know how to roast their own coffee beans, apparently. We have to have a middleman. Yes, please, America. Middleman me harder, please. Give me...
That's what they do.
Yeah, like...
They're just the world's middleman.
And you know what? I don't know if this is woke or not, but I am not someone that participates in the coffee economy.
Whoa. Yeah, that's not woke because you're sleepy all the time because you don't drink coffee.
I'm not even sleepy all the time. You're sleepier than me.
Yeah, fair enough. It's because I'm addicted to that bean juice.
Yeah, and then without it, you come crashing down.
Yeah.
That's not good, though. Any kind of like dependency thing. And honestly, given the tariff war that's going on right now and the inability for these we could say broadly Western and Northern countries, whether it's the US, Canada, or even all of Europe, their inability to grow coffee amidst what is going to continue to happen in this trade war and the incoming crashes, a lot of people are going to get their like they're not going to be able to get their fix, I guess would be a way to put it.
A lot of angry, cranky Karens.
Yeah, and I don't know if they're all going to be able to make the switch to matcha, since that's rising like crazy too now because it's a trend, right? So everything is a trend, and just try and remove yourself from that. And no, drinking Red Bulls is not a substitute, even though they are Swiss and not American, which is better. But yeah, we all know that food prices are going up too. The article continues talking about that. Everything goes up. Yay. Woo. Right. And the most recent headline we have from our great country is that Quebec, 2 days ago, has a new durable goods law that is going to come into effect. Now, this is something to specifically legislate against planned obsolescence, things where companies make it so that you cannot repair your own devices, or that if a deliberate shortening of the lifespan happens, and you are able to get some compensation for that. Yeah, it's a big movement. It's bigger in Europe right now, the sort of right to repair and removal of this, corporate greed.
So when things like purposefully break down, so you have to get a new one?
Yes.
This prevents against that?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yeah, this is a thing already in Europe in a lot of places. So Quebec doing it is a good step, I suppose, but I'd really like to see this on a national level.
Mm-hmm. In Quebec, it's now prohibited to sell goods whose normal operating life has been deliberately limited. As early as the shopping stage, consumers will need information about whether parts and information needed to repair or maintain their goods are available to help make a choice at the time of purchase. Good, good. The government says in a statement that spare parts and repair services must be available at a reasonable price, and parts must be able to be installed using commonly available tools. This is awesome. All good. Yeah. This is all good stuff. A number of other protection provisions came into effect, and merchants and manufacturers who do not comply with the law could face fines. I mean, they'll pay those fines no problem, I'm sure.
Face fines.
How about some prison time, huh?
Yeah.
Jesus. A fine. Give me a fucking break.
Yeah, more people need to go to jail. I see one of the side articles there. Canada Post strike drags on. I can only imagine that the strike that Canada Post was doing earlier in the year is only going to get worse now that the government said that they're not going to do door-to-door mail anymore.
Absolutely.
So the terms of this contract are just changing pretty much weekly at this point. Oh, well, I mean, this is technically a Canadian story, but it's not exactly a headlining story of sorts.
Yeah, this is just a funny. I wasn't sure whether to put this in right-wing trash or in the Canadian section, and I opted for the Canadian section. This is just a funny little 22 minutes thing.
Oh, we probably need to give some context as to what 22 Minutes is. It is a Canadian satire comedy show that airs on CBC, and they mostly make fun of Canadian politicians and governmental things, or just the general goings on in the world, but from a Canadian perspective. So this is just one of their writers and actors getting a funny haha moment on Leader of the Opposition, Pierre Poilievre.
Wow, Pierre Poilievre, such an honor to meet. My name is Dan. I'm with 22 Minutes. It's so nice to meet you. I think you're doing an amazing job. If it was up to me, you'd be the leader of the opposition for the rest of your life.
Well, I won't be, sadly, for you and you and your. But you know what?
Wow. Great.
Yeah, that was a really funny word salad coming. I think that he caught him by surprise to say, I hope that you're leader of the opposition for the rest of your life.
He didn't have a sound bite generated in his head.
No, he just said, well, unfortunately for you, he's got such a big pension. I don't even know why he'd want to be prime minister at this point. Right? Like, I don't even know why he didn't just go silently into the night after he lost.
Back into his taxpayer-funded mansion.
Yeah, his pension is higher than Trudeau's even. Like, he just needs to go. But, I mean, if Carney keeps disappointing us like he is, then he's just handing the government over to the Conservatives in 4 years. So let's hope not.
I see people on, I don't know how much of a gauge Twitter is, but people on Twitter seem to still like Carney. Or I don't know how many of those are just bots.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of
meant
Carney
to blow smoke up his ass.
People like Carney on Facebook too, and that's the boomer audience for sure, the older audience. So I guess we'll see. But I really wasn't big on his Trump meeting today. They didn't do anything.
No. A little bit closer to home here. Some BC news.
Oh yes, okay, yeah, we're still going with the Canadian section then. Yeah. Well, like I've said at the top of the show, there is a crash coming. There's going to be a recession. I hope you have somewhere to live. I hope you have a couple months of provisions, dried provisions and canned stuff in your house at least. Because despite the fact that there are record levels of empty condos sitting empty in Victoria, as per this article, or in the mainland BC, which is also mentioned in the article, well, they're not being filled. People are looking for homes and they can't afford any of this crap. And it's the highest level since 2001 that there was this level of available inventory. And 2001, again, coming right off of the .com bubble. So I guess that goes to show when people didn't have money to buy houses either. So in Vancouver itself, there are 2,500 condos sitting empty, individual units. In Victoria, it's lower at
only 350 as of August.
But that number is still double compared to what it was last year. And it's a trend that has been observed similarly month over month. So it's only getting worse. People are not affording, or people don't have the money to buy these units, but even if they did, they don't want to because they suck and they're tiny and they're unlivable little concrete skyboxes. And, you know, I'm not even like someone that's like against the whole idea of like a 15-minute city. I know that's a very right-wing conspiracy thing to be like, oh yeah, they want everyone to live in a 15-minute city. I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with being
what's wrong with that?
Access stuff like doctors, groceries, amenities within a 15-minute walk. That's awesome. People should be able to walk places. But what I don't like is the giving up of the autonomy when you move into these towers and these condos and you start paying strata fees, and that's a bunch of crap. Mm-hmm. And especially if you're moving to Vancouver Island of all places, the last thing I would want to do is live in a freaking tower in Victoria. Are you kidding me? That's some of the only like places in Canada with decently priced like properties still and like good houses, and you want to live in a box?
No. I mean, in Victoria, you'd probably have to live in a box because it's a big city.
Yeah, Victoria is more expensive on the island compared to a lot of other places, but yeah, like if you really wanted to put up with city life, you might have to deal with a box. But
an imbalance, but certainly not a crisis, says the president of the...
Well, what do we have to do to make it a crisis?
Vancouver-based development company Rennie.
What do we have to do to line up the heads of these development companies in front of a guillotine and redistribute their resources and their property to the people in this country that need it the most?
Just give it time. It'll happen.
It'll
happen.
Yeah, with the cost of lumber going the way that it is, it's going to be even more expensive to build a guillotine.
Wow.
Yeah, right? Good thing we have old growth forests. Similar news from America, our crap hole neighbors to the south. 72% more condo sellers than buyers in the U.S. right now. This is what would normally be called
country.
A buyer's market, but there's no one who wants to buy. So what kind of market is that then, huh?
It's not much of a market if you ask me.
Estimated 72.3% more condo sellers than buyers nationwide in August, marking the 5th straight month in which there have been at least 70% more condo sellers than buyers in the U.S. housing market. That makes spring and summer 2025 the strongest buyer's market for condo buyers in records dating back to 2013, with the only exception being April 2020, when the start of the pandemic
halted
look at that
spike.
Buying.
Whoa. Yeah, that's a huge spike.
Oh my God. For our YouTube viewers, this chart about condo selling is that's quite disturbing.
That's the number of sellers compared to buyers. It just went way up because no one was buying a house, I guess.
That was COVID, and now it's marching right
it's
back.
Getting close.
How can it be at almost COVID levels again? That's crazy. Oh man. Do you think there's going to be a crash?
I don't know.
I know in Canada it's basically a meme to say that the housing market will crash because everyone's been praying that it will. I've seen people
since like the mid 2000s, basically.
Yeah. Like we went to we talked about it many weeks ago, but we talked about how we went to a time capsule party, and there was someone who had written a letter in this time capsule like 10 years ago, who had since passed away, who in their letter was like, "Did the housing market crash yet?"
Oh my God!
So there's people that have literally lived and died waiting for this, and when it happens, oh boy, I'm excited.
Yeah,
I couldn't be more excited. Basing GDP on property values was the biggest mistake of the neoliberalist capitalist society we live in. That was a huge error.
Now it's all coming home to roost. All right, I think this is our last Canadian story because it contains it.
Yes, it is about
regards the great Jordan Peterson, one of Canada's best philosophical minds, is gravely ill.
Allegedly,
according
to his daughter.
A grim update on his health. He spent a month in ICU due to mold-related illnesses. Whoa. The woke mind virus finally got to his head.
Maybe he was sleeping on J.K. Rowling's floor and he got some black mold spores in his lungs.
Not clear when he'll return to public life or even leave the hospital. Oh my God. This is a 6-minute video.
Yeah, so definitely not going to watch that. Y'all watch that on your own time. At Michaela Fuller. Interesting that she didn't take Peterson as her last name on her own page. Except for her name, not her handle.
He's recovering slowly day by day. He already had that big health scare where he was in a coma in a Russian hospital or something.
And he was getting his thing pumped.
Yeah. And now this shit? Oh my God. Maybe that all meat diet isn't working for you, buddy.
To be perfectly honest, I think a lot of this is spiritual.
Oh my God. Spiritual.
My newborn Audrey almost died of heart failure for no reason in June. Dad got sick and came to stay with us in July, then needed a hospital. And the same day he went to the hospital by ambulance, my newborn turned blue at home for different, not heart-related reason. Were you choking him? Why did he turn blue?
Zaz turned blue.
Within 3 hours of each other. Whoa. Michaela, have you considered for a moment that God hates you and your family?
Or maybe your family just has genetic health conditions.
I would prefer for her to rationalize that the Almighty just wants her bloodline to end.
Yeah. Maybe then she'll just let it happen.
Yeah. Well, I would say good luck to Jordan Peterson to pull through, but
except I don't
wish him any luck at all, actually.
Yeah. Die a moldy, musty death, Mr. Peterson.
I hope that baby does okay, though.
Yes.
If anything,
I hope the baby's okay.
I hope the baby pulls through because there's still hope there. You know, the baby's not a bad person yet.
Yeah.
Even if they were born in a terrible family.
Yeah.
We are back in the rest of the world. There's other countries. Did you know
that?
Fun fact. There is at least 2 countries on the planet.
Oh my God.
North and South. But we're actually about 6 months into a recession, according to this random Twitter user at Panasonic DX4500, with 1.2 million views on this rather unassuming tweet, saying it just hasn't penetrated the stock market yet because of the speculative AI bubble, and it's keeping it completely divorced from what's happening on the ground. And I would say that that is correct and related to what I was talking about how stocks are severely overvalued right now. And it's the video that I saw about this, and I keep going back to this because it was a good video, but it was saying that like the stock market in these like 7 companies that are considered like, you know, untouchable right now, it's like they are defying gravity because their lines keep going up, right? It goes up forever. So all you're supposed to do is buy their stock and hold it because it's going to go up forever. You're not supposed to sell, never sell, hold it forever. And that is not a good market mentality. No. So in response to that, of course, we've seen the hiring cool down significantly this year since Trump took office. And according to @MorePerfectUnion, hiring is at its lowest levels since 2009.
Oof.
Did something happen?
I wonder.
Did something happen back then?
I don't know.
I was born in 2013. I don't know anything.
I'm 12 years old. Can you explain everything to me?
What is Obama?
Obama?
Yes. So that's great. Really helps me get to sleep at night. Knowing that it's going to be absolutely impossible for anyone in this country who doesn't have a job already to get one.
The AI takeover continues. Yes, Spotify has now been infected with ChatGPT.
AI is the ultimate product that you didn't know you needed because you never asked for it or wanted it. But Spotify, the worst music streaming evil company, is partnering with ChatGPT, the worst, evilest AI company. Yay. They're going to personalize your music and podcast recommendations, as if Spotify didn't already do that. And it says that you can opt in. I appreciate people in the comments on this post online saying, just cancel your Spotify, man. Just leave. I have never paid a penny for Spotify Premium.
Lovely. Skynet incoming. He's Skynet incoming, and then he posts a meme from the Matrix. Come on, dude.
No, these.
Come on, dude.
That's pretty funny.
Fucking idiots. But yeah, this seems like something that Spotify would already do. I don't know why.
Spotify's been working AI into it for so long. It's just a matter of like, they need to, this was probably done as a favor. Like Sam Altman probably asked the Spotify people like, hey, can you give us a little bit more legitimacy, please? Let us pair with you. Because I think there were other companies doing like AI pairings that
everywhere.
I don't remember all off the top of my head, but this is what's going on, is that these companies are unable to prove their own value on their own now. So they have to partner up and find some other company that is far more valued than it actually is worth, because then they can justify their own $500 billion valuation by saying, look at the service we provided to this other multi-billion-dollar company. Surely that means that our value is worth, I don't know, at least both of our valuations put together.
Yeah, just pull a number out of your ass.
Yeah. So, this economy is so doomed, so cooked, man. This is another post about AI, about OpenAI specifically, because there was a bit of a boondoggle, so I'm using another fun little word there, that people discovered when trying to delete their accounts.
I'll just read this out. Be OpenAI. Train Sora 2 on every movie/show ever made without permission. Release product with aggressive marketing. Day 1 to 3, Pikachu robbing CVS, Hitler SpongeBob, Mario, Family Guy, South Park everywhere. #1 on the App Store within 48 hours. Employee says, Sir, we won. Users doing exactly what we planned them to do. New funding secured. $500 billion valuation. Suddenly, lawsuits incoming. Disney, New York Times, everyone mobilizing. Altman, quick, make it the user's fault. And the copyright holder's fault too. Emergency update ships overnight. Media upload agreement pop up. You agree not to upload copyrighted material. You agree you have all rights to uploads. Misuse equals permanent ban and from Sora and ChatGPT. Liability successfully transferred to the users, to the copyright holders. Copyright holders must opt out of each character individually, not OpenAI. Altman drops the blog, please use responsibly. Users try to delete Sora account, deletes ChatGPT too, banned from ever signing up again. API access gone, all data deleted. Can't even use the same email or phone. Wow.
Yeah, this post has
fucking
2.6 million views, even though it only has a modest 36,000 likes. But so this is an agreement for our YouTube viewers that can see. The media upload agreement. You agree not to upload media containing people with or without their consent, or under the age of 18. You agree not to upload media containing violence or explicit themes. You agree you have all the necessary rights to the media you upload. Misuse of media uploads may result in your account being banned without refund.
Yeah.
And then the next screen shows what happens if you try to delete your account. Deleting your account is permanent and cannot be undone. All of your data, including profile, conversations, and API usage across ChatGPT and Sora, will be removed. You cannot reuse the same email or phone number for a new account. Gee, it sounds like they're saving that information then and not actually deleting it, huh? What a bunch of liars. I saw people talking about this from the context that like companies changing their like terms of service sneakily in the background without actually sending an update or like letting people know what the changes are. That is a really, really clever way to try and work around the whole legal gray areas about this. So you really have to hope that if these companies like Disney and New York Times and stuff are mobilizing, that they have the terms of service contract from before this was like tried to like, you know, pass off the bag, so to speak. You know, hot potato their legal problems away.
Yeah.
But I really hope it doesn't work, man. No company at this point is worth $500 billion. It's just not real. This is not real money.
No money is real.
No. We need to destroy Sam Altman.
There's a couple people we need to destroy.
Yeah.
Speaking of AI, there's fucking AI actresses and actors coming very soon. Looks like Paramount is paying 9 figures for a virtual AI actress. Tilly Norwood doesn't need a hairstylist, has no regrettable posts, and if you wish to see a virgin on screen, this is one of your better chances. This is a post.
A whole article.
The whole article. Tyler Cohen must know, talking about this AI actress. But yeah, that one part talking about if you wish to see a virgin on screen.
And Paramount's going to pay 9 figures
so
for
oddly specific.
A digital girlfriend.
Very like right-wing coded. You want to see a pure barefoot and I guess not barefoot and pregnant because she'd be a virgin. That comes after. Yeah. After you marry her.
It's so bad. They just had a big strike in Hollywood a couple years ago about AI stuff. A lot of actors have been coming out against this Tilly Norwood crap. I'm sure if you listeners at home look up the Tilly Norwood thing, you'll find whichever celebrity has spoken out against it most recently, because it is still ongoing and it's ridiculous that it's even being entertained.
There's another quote from the article. Tilly Norwood is the actress I most want to see on the big screen, or perhaps the little screen if she gets her own TV show. She's beautiful, but not too intimidating. She has a natural smile, and it's just the right amount of British. A touch exotic, but still familiar with her posh accent. Her Instagram has immaculate standards of presentation. And this person tweets, "Oh my God, just watch porn, you freak."
Jeez, yeah. I mean, this is the most like surface level, like I want pretty girl to look at and be pretty, and I don't want to think about anything else. Pretty.
Kill all tech bros. Yeah, I agree.
That's it. There's an Arabic saying. Yeah. Oh man, these guys they just don't feel anything.
Do you think they're jerking off to this?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
They are jerking off to it, and their brain is so like like addled by lust and just primal urges that they believe that everyone else on the planet would be as quote unquote enriched by some hollow vestige of femininity as they are. But most people actually require, you know, some depth to the person that they are engaging with, and are not satisfied by an ever-pleasing programmed response machine.
Depth, which is definitely lacking in an AI actress, I would say.
It just makes me think of the recent South Park episode with the ChatGPT thing, where it's like they don't disagree with you ever. They will never say anything is a bad idea. They are just like eternal hype people. You know, if you talk to these like AI girlfriend things and you're just like, man, I hate everything, I hate the world, and they're gonna be like, yeah, the world could use some work. World really I bet you could do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me glaze you a little more.
Mm-hmm. And that's really what the point of this is. The AI bros don't have any friends to glaze them naturally, so they had to create a friend to glaze them for them.
Yeah.
Self-glazing machine. Just go work at a Krispy Kreme or something. God.
Speaking of companies being awful and capitulating to fascists,
Cowards.
Apple drops ICE trafficking apps from its store after Trump DOJ demand.
ICE tracking apps. And not trafficking, but if you go down, there was
same diff.
I thought I saw someone had a link. Someone had the post of what the app was called before. But yeah, so Apple capitulating to the government. Yay. Apple's just another spineless corporation.
Yeah. Apparently it's okay for the government to pressure tech companies to censor content now. Yay.
I distinctly remember a time when the right wing was extremely angry about that sort of thing. But, how the balance of power has shifted.
Oh, yes. More Trump administration goodness. What is
Ken
this?
Klippenstein is maybe the journalist doing the most right now. So if you don't follow him, definitely keep an eye out for the work he does. But he is posting a statement here from Representative Ro Khanna, who said, Trump has just issued Presidential Directive MSPM-7. No one is talking about it, but it's one of the most dangerous power grabs yet. It grants his administration sweeping authority to investigate and prosecute organizations that dare challenge him under the guise of combating political violence. Hey, look, it's the thing that Charlie Kirk's assassination set up being set into motion in real time before our eyes.
It grants his administration sweeping authority to investigate and prosecute organizations that dare challenge him under the guise of combating political violence, anti-American, anti-capitalist, or anti-Christian, focused on gender, race, and migration justice, or critical of traditional views on family, religion, or morality. That could be literally anything.
It could be anything.
By branding critics as extremists, Trump is laying the groundwork to criminalize speech, shut down organizations, and intimidate millions into silence. It's a direct assault on the First Amendment, worse than the Patriot Act. Yep. All this because some douchebag got shot in the neck. I mean, there's more that happened because aside from that, but that was one of the biggest catalysts.
I think that a lot of this stuff has been in motion since Project 2025, and they've just been kind of waiting for some sort of, incitement to violence for them to really make this like legislation or push it through without people being as angry about it. So whether it was Charlie Kirk being killed or any other thing, like Trump completely making up the stuff in Portland right now, it's all just a guise. They have these things that they're going to try and push no matter what. They just need the conditions to be appropriate for it, so that people are less likely to pay attention or be mad. Meanwhile, though, today, Attorney General for the United States, Pam Bondi, was grilled by the Senate, and it did not go well. I encourage people to check this out on your own time because it was long, and she basically had some back talk ready for every single Democrat senator that came after her. She didn't say a darn thing about any of the Republican senators, not that they had any teeth to go after her, but when she was being asked legitimate questions by Democratic senators, all she could do is just sass them and avoid every single question.
Dick Durbin asked Pam Bondi at point blank if she consulted with the White House about not releasing the Epstein files, and she refused to answer. I'm not going to discuss anything about that with you.
Yeah, I chose this particular clip of all the ones that were available because I think this one really highlights what a bitch she is through and through. Look at her soulless eyes.
Yeah, look at this.
She's really got Florida MAGA face.
Yeah. Quarrel with you is to read somebody that you mentioned I never heard of.
Reid Hoffman.
So who gave the order to flag records related to President Trump?
To flag records for President Trump?
To flag any records which included his name.
I'm not going to discuss anything about that with you, Senator.
Eventually, you're going to have to answer for your conduct in this. And you won't do it today, but eventually you will. I yield, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, I like that because this is one of those senators that's really, he's not a young buck, obviously.
No.
This is probably the kind of guy that should, be like a senator because he's just like a litigious, like book guy, old guy that's like been in the system for a while. I don't feel like, he's not the future of the Democrat Party, but for someone to hold the line of like, what is proper judicial, like, reach and all this stuff, he's the right kind of person to be there. And so for Pam Bondi to be like, I'm not going to discuss any of that with you, when the question was just about who gave her the directive to go through the Epstein files and remove and note where Trump's name was, which is something that we know to be a fact. And I believe has even been admitted by the Attorney General previously that she was given the directive to comb through those files. And so I like his answer there where he said, you know, you might not answer for me today, but you're going to have to answer eventually. He didn't even let her like whine. He just said, I yield my time. And like, that's it. He just gave up with her. There's way worse interactions like this where she just goes down the line and she, like, even at the start of this clip, she's like, she mentioned Reid Hoffman because in the longer version of this clip, he's saying that like, oh, you know, Trump's donors and all this stuff. And so she throws it back at him. She's like, actually, didn't you take money from someone that was friends with Epstein? Reid Hoffman, huh? What about that? Okay, but the president has photos with Epstein and called him his best friend. And you're just going to cry about that a senator may have taken money from someone who maybe was a friend with Jeffrey Epstein. Like we've completely jumped from the fact that Trump was best friends with a convicted sex trafficker pedophile in favor of getting upset that a friend of the sex trafficking pedophile might have given money to a senator, and that is not related to the actual sex trafficking. This administration is the most pro-pedophile we have ever seen in history. It's disgusting. And Pam Bondi is also on the list, probably. Speaking of blonde soulless ghouls, our American audience might have heard that Bad Bunny was selected to be the Super Bowl halftime performer in America.
Bad Bunny, yes.
Yeah.
And of course, the right is all up in arms because he's not an American. Said, oh, wait, yes, he is.
Yeah.
He's from Puerto Rico, which is a U.S. territory.
Tommy Loren really embarrassed herself in this short little clip. Some lady named Crystal Ball, which doesn't sound like a real name. But also, wow, I haven't seen...
That's Kyle Kalinski's wife.
Oh?
From Secular Talk? Kyle from Secular Talk, yeah. They're either married or they're together, but I know they're a couple.
I also got to say, wow, it's been years since I've seen a picture of Tommy Loren. I remember her being kind of like she looked like a 20-something blonde university student before, but wow, she really went full like mega Barbie nowadays.
She's got the is that her?
Yeah.
She's got the mega face.
Do you think Bad Bunny's a good choice for the Super Bowl?
I'm not that like knowledgeable about him, but it seems fine, and I don't know why it's a big deal. Seems like a great American artist, so sure.
He's not an American artist, but
he's Puerto Rican. That's part of America, dear.
Yeah, that was a good setup. I have seen this clip a few times online. I would like to know what she said after.
Yeah, they always cut too early. I want to see their reaction at the end.
And honestly, Crystal definitely set her up there by saying he's a great American artist, and Tommy can't resist and saying, "Oh, you're not American."
Yes, he is.
Yeah, he is. Wait until Puerto Rico gets full voting rights. Like that'll ever happen.
They have Puerto Rico, but they don't do anything with it. It's like their IP. It's their intellectual property.
It's their IP to
sit on and do nothing with. All right, here we get to some of Trump's bumbling antics.
We haven't mentioned anything about this so far this episode.
The UN General Assembly. Yeah, I was saving it.
Yeah, so the UN happened. It sure did happen. Like 10 countries came out and decided to support Palestine. Cool. Even though that they are still being bombed by Israel.
It has done nothing to stop the genocide.
But Trump went up on stage. It was a full thing. First, the escalator stopped working when he got on it. It was very funny, and all the right-wing anger machine like commentators freaked out.
Oh, we'll get to that. Don't you worry.
Then the teleprompter failed. And then he said it was a triple, I'm referring to Trump said that it was a triple sabotage because he said that the audio wasn't playing in the room from his speech, but that's actually just a general UN thing because there's, most of the people in the room don't speak English, so they have to listen to it on their like headphones and the translators. So that's not actually it wasn't sabotage. It's just the way they do things. But his brain is so dementia-addled, he didn't remember that that's exactly the same way it's been since the last time he gave an address. But he had some really choice words for the countries that made the trip to New York for this. Let us hear what the leader of the free world has to say.
You have to end it now. See, I can tell you. I'm really good at this stuff. Your countries are going to hell. In America, we've taken bold action to swiftly shut down uncontrolled migration. You have to end.
I'm really good at this. You guys all suck. You're all going to hell. Your countries are all going to hell.
Everyone's going to hell. Yay. Yeah. Yep. So I think it's safe to say that the world is laughing at America
and it's a disgrace that the UN is still being held in New York. They don't deserve to do that anymore.
No, they don't deserve it. I've heard people floating that they should open another one in China, though I don't know if I like that idea much either.
Dude, do it in like Finland or Switzerland or something.
It should be in Switzerland.
Yeah. A country that's famous for being neutral. Oh, wow. We got a little highlight reel of Trump's antics at the UN General
courtesy
Assembly.
of
The teleprompter is not working, and whoever's operating this teleprompter is in big trouble. I ended 7 wars, dealt with the leaders of each and every one of these countries, and never even received a phone call from the United Nations offering to help. All I got from the United Nations was an escalator that on the way up stopped right in the middle. If the First Lady wasn't in great shape, she would have fallen. But she's in great shape. These are the 2 things I got from the United Nations, a bad escalator and a bad teleprompter. Everyone says that I should get the Nobel Peace Prize for each one of these achievements. The number one political issue of our time, the crisis of uncontrolled migration. It's uncontrolled. Your countries are being ruined. You have to end it now. Sid, I can tell you. I'm really good at this stuff. Your countries are going to hell. I look at London, where you have a terrible mayor, terrible, terrible mayor. And it's been so changed. Now they want to go to Sharia law. We're getting rid of the falsely named renewables. By the way,
he just hates
they're a
Muslims
joke
because he's a racist.
They don't work. If you don't get away from this green scam, your country is going to fail. And I'm really good at predicting things, you know.
There were
actually said during the campaign, they had a hat, the best-selling hat. Trump was right about everything. And I don't say that in a braggadocious way, but it's true. I've been right about everything. In the United States, we have still radicalized environmentalists. And they want the factories to stop. Everything should stop. No more cows. We don't want cows anymore. I guess they want to kill all the cows. We have a border, strong, and we have a shape. And that shape doesn't just go straight up.
The shape doesn't go straight up.
The shape is amorphous when it comes to the atmosphere. But the problem is that other countries, like China, which has air that's a little bit rough.
They're getting better, though.
It blows.
It blows.
No matter what you're doing down here, the air up here tends to get very dirty because it comes in from other countries where their air isn't so clean. Let us defend free speech and free expression. Let us protect religious liberty, including for the most persecuted religion on the planet today. It's called Christianity.
No, don't fucking. Oh,
yeah,
my God.
he knows what he's doing.
Oh, my God.
That wasn't a speech for the world to hear. It was a speech for his base, because that's the only kind of speech he knows how to give.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. And it's also worth pointing out that the 2 things that he griped about, the escalator and the teleprompter, were both as a result of his own administration's inability to do anything right. The escalator was stopped because his own photographer was a few steps ahead and was then walking down the up escalator to try and get a good shot of Trump because he took too long to get on the escalator. So he was too far ahead, and that triggered the safety mechanism and shut the thing down. And the teleprompter is run by each country's delegation. So the White House was responsible for the teleprompter. So again, it was their fault. But even though we saw person after person on the right-wing news machine saying there should be an investigation, this was sabotage, rah, 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 like 2-3 weeks ago when it happened, there won't be any follow-up because they did everything wrong.
Well,
this is the part where he brags about blowing up that Venezuelan boat.
Yes, I believe that the Trump admin has bombed like 5 different boats now, and has not yet provided any proof that any of them actually had drugs or drug traffickers on them. But because the boat was zooming fast on a Navy cam, they think that they have the right to blow it up in international waters.
Drug smugglers or terrorists.
But they do not actually. And even if you label a group as a terrorist group, it does not give the government impunity to attack and kill them without proof or a trial. So brag about those war crimes, Trump.
To protect our citizens, I've also designated multiple savage drug cartels as far as and you see this, and you see it happening right before your eyes. Let's put it this way. People don't like taking big loads of drugs in boats anymore. There aren't too many boats that are traveling on the seas by Venezuela. They tend not to want to travel very quickly anymore. And we've virtually stopped drugs coming into our country by sea. We call them the water drugs. They kill
the water
hundreds
drugs.
of thousands of people. to protect our citizens.
We call them the water drugs. Is that what we call them? Yeah.
Yeah.
The water
I don't think
drugs.
they're any good once they drop into the water, though.
No,
they
I don't
lose their
think so.
potency. Damn water drugs. Oh, I love this. This is a page of from Trump's speech book here. Oh yeah, here's the actual zoomed in and rotated. Look at it's like written for a 5-year-old. Under my leadership, energy costs are down, gasoline prices are down, grocery prices are down. It's exactly how you think it would look. 4 years of Biden, we had less than $1 trillion of new investment in the United States. In 8 months since I took office, we've secured commitments for $17 trillion, now pouring in from all over the world. Wow.
Honestly, like, I know this is really embarrassing for Trump, and like this giant text is humiliating. And I love that there's reporters out there with long photo lenses on their cameras, so that we're able to see lots of this really embarrassing, stupid stuff from officials who don't know how to, maintain good OPSEC. But I just got to say, this just reinforces my belief that money is not real. Like, we have secured commitments for $17 trillion. Like,
from who?
What does that even mean? It just makes me think of back to the Zuckerberg thing where he's like, I didn't know what number you wanted me to say. It's just a bunch of, it's just lies.
Yeah.
He says that they've brought in, hasn't the admin like posted too that they've like made $1 trillion in tariff revenue too? It's like, where is this money coming from? Oh, it's either not real or it's actually a tax on the American people. And not that it is enough to make up for the like $4 trillion of spending that the big beautiful bill is going to, do. So I don't know, man. I'm so tired of this. Money is fake, and the sooner that the entire world economic system collapses, the better.
Oh, this is funny. The U.S. government, from Mehdi Hassan, the U.S. government allowed the Syrian president into New York this week for the UN Assembly while blocking the Palestinian president from coming, but forgot to delete their tweet calling him a terrorist and offering a $10 million reward for his capture. So this is the president of Syria, I believe.
Yes.
And they still had this "Stop this terrorist, Mohammed al-Jalani" rewards for justice, up to $10 million. They still had this up on their embassy Twitter while he was in New York at the summit.
Yeah, the Trump admin denied visas for the Palestinian officials from both the West Bank and Gaza because they are not supporters of any peace plan, despite what they might say. The Trump admin is fully in favor of Israel finishing the job in Gaza and killing everyone there, ethnically cleansing everyone, women and children included. The U.S. government might not have the balls to actually say that in public, but given the decisions that they make, I am more than comfortable putting those words in their mouth. And the new president of Syria, just to do a little bit of a side note thing, they actually just had elections for their like little parliament there to hopefully
Assad was ousted, right? Bashir al-Assad?
I would ousted kind of, because what happened was, as Israel began its post-October 7th attacks on every one of its neighbors like it usually does, this sort of drew the fighters away from Syria. The Russian forces were leaving. They were dealing with something else. Hezbollah also left. And so the pro-Assad military or militant groups that were there were no longer being backed up and propped up by Russia or Hezbollah or any of these, or Iran or anywhere. So the anti-Assad Syrian rebel group, who I guess maybe they were affiliated with ISIS and Al-Qaeda, or it says Al-Qaeda on here, Al-Qaeda affiliate in Syria, Al-Nusra Front. Yeah. So they were affiliated, but their goal was the liberation of Syria from the propped up dictator that was Bashar al-Assad. So once his support militias left to go deal with other conflicts, he fled to Russia. He left because he knew that his government wouldn't survive. And as soon as the news reached these groups, these militia groups, that he had literally fled the capital, they just literally took over the country in a day. And I don't want to say took over in that it was hostile. No, actually, it was incredibly welcome. This group was welcomed by the Syrian people with open arms. They went into the secret government prisons and let out dissidents and journalists that had been locked up for decades. They really were the proof that a lot of the groups that are designated by the West as being terrorist organizations are really just freedom fighters trying to free the people from the, dictatorial wraths of these unpopular demagogues like Assad. So was he ousted? I feel like I would use that term more so for like a Gaddafi situation where they broke into the palace and they get him. They freaking get him. But no, Assad ran away like a bitch because his wife's also dying, I think, of like cancer or something. And they're not being let into any country with decent cancer treatment stuff. So I don't know how long she's going to last, but that was part of why he really wanted to get out of there, was that he's like, the only thing worse than me being dead is my wife also being dead here with me. So let's get her to Russia, where they have definitely better medical stuff than Syria, but they don't. So I guess we'll see. We'll let you know if Bashar al-Assad's wife dies. But for now, the new president of Syria is pretty based.
Oh, and going back to that damn elevator that Trump was talking about earlier, or the escalator. Mr. Waters from Fox News offers a great proposal to deal with the perpetrators of the escalator.
Worry.
I hate this
What's
guy.
going on with the escalator? What do you think?
Yeah, they sabotaged them.
Yeah.
And they could have hurt the first lady.
Yeah.
Trump would have fallen and he would have gotten back up. But,
they would have blamed it on his rhetoric.
And then they sabotaged the teleprompter.
Yeah.
I mean, this is an insurrection. And what we need to do is either leave the UN or we need to bomb it. It is in New York,
what?
Right?
Yeah, it is.
Hold on, let him talk.
There.
Yeah.
All right.
Worry. What?
It is in New York, though, right?
Yeah, it
Could be
is.
some fallout there.
Yeah.
All right.
Worry.
Oh,
Yeah,
damn.
let's bomb the UN. Oh,
they
wait,
cut
it's in
the
New
clip.
York. They cut it?
Oh man, I've seen the longer clip for this. He says, okay, like he says bombing New York. He's like, well, there'll be some fallout there. Maybe gas.
Wow.
Yeah. So this tweet that we're looking at, this post from with this clip, is from U.S. sitting Representative Jasmine Crockett for Texas. And she is facetiously posting, paging Brendan Carr, who, if you remember, was the clown who removed Jimmy Kimmel or threatened the broadcasters in regards to Jimmy Kimmel a couple weeks back. But Brendan Carr is a coward and a moron and an idiot, just like everyone else in the admin. And yes, you're right. Jesse Waters is a horrible person. And so if we're talking about what is true incitement to violence be on a broadcast television, I don't know. I feel like
gassing the UN building, I think, is
or bombing the UN
or bombing
an American city. It's so painful. I really hate Jesse Waters. He's such a slime bag.
He should get a spot in the administration. He'd fit right in.
I think he's too popular at Fox. I think he's kind of like their new Tucker. So they don't want to lose him until he really does something that hurts them financially, which I don't know how the crap he says doesn't hurt them financially. I guess all the
America's just that far gone, I guess.
Yeah, they have no problem with this. This rhetoric is completely okay when it comes from the right.
All right, so the government shutdown. We're getting to that now.
The government has been shut down, I think, for about a week or so now. And the U.S. has decided, why not break some more laws just for the fun of it? So you're not supposed to use government resources and websites for political purposes or partisan purposes, but who cares? Who's gonna call them on it? So the Trump admin has posted messages on every freaking .gov website that exists, from the Department of Justice all the way to the HUD.gov website, saying the Democrats have shut down the government.
This is all the Democrats' fault.
And then here's the HUD one. The radical left in Congress shut down the government.
HUD will use available resources to help Americans in need. And this is the U.S. Department of Agriculture. Due to the radical left Democrat shutdown, this government website will not be updated during the funding lapse. President Trump has made it clear he wants to keep the government open and support those who feed, fuel, and clothe the American people. Yeah, bullshit.
Ha, ha, ha.
So yeah, the Republicans control the House, the Senate, and the White House, yet somehow this is the Democrats' fault that the government's
they
shutting
are
down?
really trying. They're posting memes practically hourly on the freaking White House Twitter and crap, trying so hard to lie to the American people that this is anything other than a problem of Trump's own making. And it makes me sick to my stomach.
Democrats shut down. Democrats in their own words. This is the White House website. Democrats have shut down the government.
Yeah, so this is from a tweet where someone said, it's like a Choose Your Own Hatch Act violation, because the Hatch Act is exactly what I just said, does not allow for this sort of misuse of government resources for partisan purposes. So, assuming there's some sort of American Nuremberg trial after all this crap goes down, someone is going to be paying for this, but who and when? I don't know.
Only time will tell.
Yeah. It's really pathetic, though. But I found it really funny to see Trump gleefully posting about how they're going to cut Democrat agencies and they're going to fire all these employees in the government. They're all going to be Democrats, yada, yada. But then at the same time, he doesn't want this shutdown to be pinned to him. He wants it to be seen as a Democrat shutdown, but he's unable to hold himself back from gleefully posting about how he is going to take advantage of it to attack Democrat stuff. So it's very much the Republicans finally have their cake and they want to eat it too, but they can't without getting icing all over their face. And they really want the Democrats to look like the ones with the icing, but the Democrats weren't even invited to the party. So it's really, it's like try and picture this in your head. Okay. I mean, this is a podcast, so it's supposed to be verbal mostly anyway. Use your imagination. It's an audiobook now. So just imagine the single crying child at a birthday party. They have the whole cake to themselves. Everyone at their party is clapping for them, but they are still upset at the kid outside who didn't do anything. This is their party. It's all for them, but they're still not happy because they need someone to be upset about. Mm-hmm. Even when they have all of the government, it's still not enough because they need an enemy. Without an enemy, without someone to blame, they can't.
It just all crumbles.
This.
It all falls apart.
They can't keep getting away with this, like Jesse Pinkman said. But yes, we have another little clip here with a House member confronting Trump's big Republican schlong man, Mike Johnson, with a little open concern for the president's openly declining mental state.
The president is unhinged. He is unwell. What are you doing? A lot of folks on your side are too. I don't control. Oh my God, please. That performance in front of the generals? That I didn't see it. Is so dangerous. You know I serve on Foreign Affairs and Appropriations. Yeah. It's a collision of those two things. Our allies are looking elsewhere. Our enemies are laughing. I just left. You have a president who is unwell.
And she's right. We didn't even talk about that. I don't know if we have any clips.
We do. It's the next article, I think.
But yeah, so concerned because there was a really humiliating conference of generals.
Oh yeah, we'll get to that. Don't worry.
But that's what that clip was in relevance to.
I think we have something about the generals?
You might not. It's kind of the more mainstream thing, so we don't always have the most mainstream of stuff here.
Oh, I thought I pulled something about it. But yeah, basically Trump or Hegseth and Trump both went in. They called a big meeting of all the generals and everyone was speculating, oh, what could it be about?
Well, because they
war with somebody? They summoned all the generals.
Normally they would just do this digitally.
Summon them all to Washington, D.C.
Call them from every station in the world that they are in just to go to Washington, and for what?
So Hegseth can go out and be like, you guys need to work out and not be so fat. And
no beards.
Yeah, if you inappropriately grope someone, you can get away with that again. We're not gonna report that stuff anymore. Also, don't wear beards anymore. He was basically just lecturing them like a dad.
And he ended his speech by saying,
"To our enemies, FAFO."
And the room was dead silent.
Yeah, I'll be sure to add a clip of that. So yeah, he was expecting thunderous applause, but it was just total silence.
And then Trump went up after Hegseth and was like, wow, everyone's so quiet here. Yeah, because it's not a rally, dipshit.
Yeah. So that's basically the story for that. I thought I pulled up an article or a post about it, but that's the rundown.
Yeah, you probably saw clips about it on Every Late Night Guy this past week. We tried to not have the same clips as Every Late Night Guy. So I'm sure that if you are an astute news follower, you might have seen it already. But yeah, that is what the clip we showed was in relevance to, because yes, the enemies of the U.S. globally are laughing and their allies are looking elsewhere because they are not reliable anymore. Mm-hmm. Canada should be doing the same thing.
Absolutely. So here I have Governor Pritzker. What's he the governor of?
Illinois. The billionaire governor of Illinois and owner of Marriott hotel chain.
It appears that Donald Trump, not only has dementia set in, but he's copying tactics of Vladimir Putin, sending troops into cities, thinking that that's some sort of proving ground for war, or that indeed there's some sort of internal war going on in the United States, is just, frankly, inane. And I'm concerned for his health. The idea that you're going to go suggest that you're going to arrest people, or that people don't deserve to be U.S. citizens when they are, just because they oppose the president of the United States. I mean, there is something genuinely wrong with this man, and the 25th Amendment ought to be invoked.
I agree.
Why hasn't it been?
Because the Republicans are scared.
That's literally what it's there for. The 25th Amendment, like all the levers and brakes are there. Like nobody's touching them though. The train's careening off the cliff and nobody's bothering to touch the emergency brake.
Yep.
It's so frustrating.
Okay with it. They like to see the crash. Crashes are entertaining, don't you know?
I mean, they are.
Let's go. I'm ready to be entertained by a crash. But yeah, I think that Governor Pritzker is absolutely angling to be a front runner for the 2028 Democratic ticket, but I'm not sure how it'll go. I think we talked about this a couple of weeks ago about his odds.
Yeah.
But I mean, hey, he's already going to be the first governor of Illinois to finish a term in like 100 years or something. So hopefully he makes it, because he seems like an all right guy. And frankly, it doesn't seem like anyone else is saying that Trump has dementia. But apparently this is such a growing topic that Google has stepped in and is blocking AI searches for Trump and dementia.
Yeah. This is totally something you would do if your leader didn't have dementia.
According
right?
to The Verge.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, the tech companies are all falling in lockstep behind the Trump admin to cover up for his declining health.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Imagine if Joe Biden had coerced the media into not talking about his declining health. That actually might have helped him, because the media wouldn't shut up about it.
Yeah.
But it's a double standard. I don't know why every single media outlet in America isn't beating the drum that Trump has dementia and is aging and his brain is deteriorating. It's seriously pussy shit. I don't know what else to say. It's so pathetic.
It is very pathetic. Here we go. Our good old friend Zoran Mamdani has a ad out.
Even though America continues to get worse, the New York Democratic candidate is only getting better.
A silver lining of hope in these dark times.
Yes, I don't remember when the election is for New York mayor, but it's coming up. So, if you live in New York and you're listening to this, go vote for the boy Mamdani.
Yeah. He has a new ad that just aired during the Golden Bachelor. So let's take a little look at this.
It's a good ad.
You deserve better. You deserve to be able to raise your family here, to be safe, to travel where you need to, free of costs and worry. You deserve someone who works as hard as you do, who thinks about you every second of the day. That's the kind of mayor I promise to be. New York, will you accept this rose?
Paid for by Zoran for NYC.
All right, I just looked it up on my phone. Interesting that there's no date there either. It's November 4th is the date.
Yeah, they should have the date like plastered everywhere here.
Yeah.
So people know.
There has been also a slew of interviews over the last few days on everyone's favorite yapping lady show, The View. They had Zoran Mamdani on a couple days ago, and then they had Cuomo the day after. And they were literally falling over, well, not Whoopi, but the white women were falling over themselves because they love Cuomo. But they were kind of being a little bit not nice to Zoran. But then Cuomo was yapping the whole time and lying about Zoran. Like, he didn't pitch a single policy. Cuomo didn't say anything that he was going to do. He's just like, yeah, I have the experience, but Zoran's the real scary guy. And you know what was really good about that? Was that the audience was dead silent. The ladies from The View were just falling over themselves to kiss Cuomo's ass, but the audience wasn't clapping. They didn't respond at all to anything he said. But you know who they did clap for?
Zoran.
So, yeah, I don't know. I guess the rich people still like Cuomo because he's establishment, but the young people, hey, we just got to outnumber the olds.
Young people know what's up.
They haven't taken away our right to vote yet.
Let's have a look at what the greatest loser of 2024 has to say.
So,
about
this was Kamala
about,
being asked
Zoran.
if she would endorse Zoran.
What do you think of him and his candidacy? And what do you think of mainline Democratic shyness and agitation about the prospect that he's going to win?
Look, as far as I'm concerned, he's the Democratic nominee and he should be supported.
Do you endorse his candidacy?
I support the Democrat in the race, sure. But let me just say this. He's not the only star. I know that, he's in New York, and I know New Yorkers think they're the center of the world, and here we are in New York having this interview.
It is the biggest city in the country.
And I love New York, as the saying goes. I really do. But, there are people like Barbara Drummond in Mobile, Alabama.
What do you think of
him? Okay, not even relevant. Way to not answer the question. She's like, of course I support the Democrat nominee.
But what about this chick in Alabama, huh?
Yeah, what about this random chick in Alabama that I haven't heard of? So, great. I like that she said, I support the Democrat in the race, sure. And also I thought her saying, I love New York, as the saying goes. What? Is that
because that's the T-shirt, I heart New York. That's like their slogan.
Stupid. It's not a good slogan. It's not even an expression or a saying. It's a trademarked advertising campaign. It's not an expression. An expression is it's raining cats and dogs or something.
The Big Apple is more of an expression.
That is an expression, not I love New York, as the expression goes. What are you talking about? That's not an expression. It's more propaganda than anything, but America's really good at not recognizing their own propaganda.
So we have a tweet here from Donald Trump talking about sending the full force of the military into Portland.
War-ravaged Portland.
Yes. At the request of Secretary of Homeland Security Kristi Noem, I'm directing the Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, to provide all necessary troops to protect war-ravaged Portland and any of our ICE facilities under siege from attack by Antifa and other domestic terrorists. I'm also authorizing full force if necessary. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Authorized full force against Antifa in war-ravaged Portland.
Do you have that video of the frog getting maced?
Oh, I do.
That is...
I put that in the meme section later on because it is a bit more of a meme. But yes, we'll get there.
There is no war happening in Portland for anyone who is
He's bringing
unaware.
a war there.
He is attempting to start a war in Portland. Another thing that I don't think we have a post for in here is that Trump has been attacking Chicago and Illinois with the National Guard a lot recently.
He's sending them all in.
Going after Pritzker, and he is explicitly mobilizing the Texas National Guard to invade Illinois.
Interesting.
That's invasion, my guy.
Yeah. Invading another sovereign state.
Well, I don't know about sovereign state, but at least
that's what somebody else said
state.
in one of these tweets.
Yeah,
I thought it was funny.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how the word sovereign is defined, so maybe that is correct, but they're certainly not independent of the United States. But yeah, he's just making up this stuff.
Here's one insane clip that we got to show
for our YouTube audience. Check this out.
A delivery driver just wheels by saying "fuck Donald Trump," and the Icemen take it upon themselves to go on a little chase. There he goes. What were they going to do to this guy when they caught him? Were they just going to detain him and arrest him for saying fuck Donald Trump? Last time I checked, that was part of your First Amendment, right? You're allowed to say fuck the president. Are you not? I guess not anymore.
No.
Yeah, so it cut out the early part where he says fuck Donald Trump, but apparently he drops his phone and then he comes back to pick it up, and that's when they decide to take the chase. He grabs his phone. Get him!
Smooth. Look at those pigs running.
All out of breath and shit.
Nazis.
Fucking Nazi pieces of shit. Look at this fat ass right here. Look at this guy looks like the Ernst Röhm, the guy from the SA that got killed in the Night of the Long Knives. Look at this shit.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh, America's so pathetic and evil.
So we got some news here. Liberal South Carolina judge Diane Goodstein's home is burning to the ground after an explosion. Sledden is investigating an arson and refer the attack as Judge Goodstein has been receiving multiple threats. Her husband, a former state senator, is in the hospital. Did she die in the explosion?
I don't think so.
She ruled against the Trump administration and the DOJ not too long ago, says Mehdi Hassan.
Yeah, this is still a developing story, so we don't have a ton on this, and we certainly don't know who started this fire or if it was a deliberate act of arson. But yeah, she did rule against Trump previously, and she's been receiving threats.
You didn't
for
hear
some
his
time,
thing
Yep. Spooky shit. Wow, this judge ruled against Trump, and then her house catches fire. Surely that's a coincidence.
Yeah, with how much these like ghouls like Stephen Miller go on TV and say the radical judges that are like usurping the president's authority. These criminal activist judges.
Speaking of potential murder, this is actual murder here. A Charlie Kirk fan stalked these teenage girls for months, did live streams when he harassed them, and murdered them after one of them said something critical of Charlie Kirk. This should be headline news, but it's not.
Yeah.
You know, Charlie Kirk dies, everyone's up in arms.
Well, because the way
one
that
of his fans
article is written as New Jersey teen girls killed in quiet suburb by alleged stalker who ran them down in Jeep. Yeah, they were on two little electrical scooters, and so he was stalking them, and he just plowed through them with a Jeep. But gotta love all this softening of, I guess you could say, the severity. First to say, in quiet suburb by alleged stalker. Okay. It seems like there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Yeah.
But
see, this is why we're happy that Charlie Kirk is dead, because this is what his words hath wrought. This is what happens, you know?
Yeah.
It's just ridiculous. But yeah, I love how they didn't even mention Charlie Kirk at all in the title of the...
Well, it's a New York Post article, and they're a rag, so...
Oh, I see.
It's just someone reposting it with more information.
Speaking of Charlie Kirk,
this is breaking from...
We're transitioning into our Israel section now here a little bit.
So Candace Owens released a series of text messages that she claims prove that Charlie Kirk, 2 days before his murder, complained about Jewish donors pressuring him over Israel, and Kirk allegedly saying that Jewish donors play into all the stereotypes. I had even heard that apparently Charlie was going to convert to Catholicism. Ooh. That was another thing that I've been hearing around, but I don't know how true that was. But I'll let you take this.
This is Charlie Kirk's message to Candace Owens, I'm guessing.
Allegedly in a Signal chat. No, not to Kansas. This is a chat that she wasn't in. And she hasn't said how she got these, so they haven't been verified, but she is the one who published them.
Just lost another huge Jewish donor, $2 million a year, because we won't cancel Tucker. I'm thinking of inviting Candace. Jewish donors play into all the stereotypes. I cannot and will not be bullied like this, leaving me no choice but to leave the pro-Israel cause. And then someone else, I don't think this is Charlie, someone else said, please don't invite Candace. That might feel good short term, but it's not good long term in my opinion. Like all groups, you're going to get a wide variety of opinions. That nasty free will thing that God bestowed on us makes life frustrating at times.
Yeah, they don't like Candace and they don't like Tucker.
Who do they like?
You raise an interesting question, though. Who do they like still? Because without Kirk as the head of Turning Point, who do they have? Like, Shapiro isn't so, like, heavily, at least from what I see, Shapiro has his own thing, Daily Wire, and they don't get the love from Israel that we see on, like, Turning Point USA, or even the young Republicans seem to get. I don't know. Like, is it just me, or has the Daily Wire just kind of become more and more irrelevant? Or less and less.
That's why they're doing cartoons for kids now, because that's all they got.
Yeah, well, those are some of the most expensive things to make.
Babe, wake up. The Zionists just dropped a new talking point. China killed Kirk. This is a tweet from Laura Loomer. I just spoke with Congresswoman Anna Paulina, and she tells me that she has received evidence that China funded one of the groups under FBI investigation for ties to Tyler Robinson's Discord activity, where he may have discussed his plans to assassinate Charlie Kirk.
Laura Loomer, as everyone may know, one of the chief conspiracy theorists in Trump's orbit, complete Zionist psychopath and frequent liar on the internet, who loves to stoke the hate mobs for anything that's remotely progressive or woke or whatever you want to call it.
Look at this line here. China funded one of the groups for ties to Tyler Robinson's Discord, where he may have discussed his plans. Like, look at the game of telephone that's
and also here. Anna Paulina Luna, the congresswoman who apparently gave her this hot tip, is also like a complete idiot who I think we've talked about on this show before, where she's just a far-right MAGA lunatic. And she has a selfie with Netanyahu, so she's also an AIPAC Israel shill. So
but yeah,
not trustworthy, not reliable.
As this guy says here, I am now 100% sure it was Israel. I mean, when they come out and say shit like this, it's kind of hard to not think that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not even in the conspiracy wagon about the Charlie Kirk stuff anymore, but if someone has to take the blame for it, I think Israel stood to gain the most by eliminating Charlie.
Absolutely. Speaking of Israel,
the flotilla.
The flotilla
made
yes.
landfall, I suppose is the word for that. Or one boat tried to. All the other boats got intercepted by the Israeli Navy in their ongoing illegal blockade, which they claim is a rightfully lawful blockade, but it's obviously not. The International Court has ruled time and time again that the blockade is illegal. And so the flotilla was a group of people, about 50 or so boats, that were trying to bring aid to Gaza. And we talked about the previous flotilla.
Yeah, we've talked about it before. Yeah.
And this time
it was bigger.
Way bigger, and there was way more torture on behalf of Israel towards the kidnapped activists.
Yeah. So Greta Thunberg has been released since this post was made, but this is just describing what she had to face. Greta Thunberg is being tortured in Israeli captivity, as revealed by fellow activists. They dragged little Greta by her hair before our eyes, beat her, and forced her to kiss the Israeli flag. They did everything imaginable to her as a warning to others. And not too long after she was released, she posted a video, completely stone-faced, where she was basically like, yeah, I got tortured in an Israeli dungeon, but that's not important right now. We still got to focus on the Palestinians, which I think is like super awesome.
Yeah, very based.
Very based. I mean, it sucks that she got tortured, obviously.
Where the hell is the Swedish government?
Yeah. Yeah, she called out the Swedish government in her video as well that she posted. But yeah, where were they among all this, you know?
Pathetic. They're not doing anything right now. Israel literally has impunity. I don't know.
They can just do whatever the
what's
fuck they
going to
want.
happen here, but I mean, I am low-key still hoping for some sort of response from the Qatar Arab country coalition after Israel bombed them unjustly. As we speak right now, too, there are negotiation attempts with the new ceasefire plan that Trump put forward. It was a crap plan, 21-step crap plan, but Hamas said, okay, we're interested. Let's come back to the negotiating table. So they're talking in Egypt right now, but the U.S. doesn't arrive until like tomorrow, I think. So they're just like talking to the mediator. But they said, and Trump actually said, I don't know if this is coming up too, but Trump said that Israel needed to stop the bombing immediately, and they have not.
Nope, they just kept on
So
going.
who do they listen to? But there was a silver lining to the flotilla, even though every boat was more or less intercepted by the terrorists in the IDF. The IDF being distracted resulted in the Palestinians being able to fish for the first time in a long time, many months, maybe
they
even
got
years.
some food.
So the distraction actually proved to be quite helpful.
Yeah, absolutely.
I sure hope that these Palestinians have the resources or the canning supplies needed to make this fish last a
Ferment
long
and
time.
pickle all that fish. You're going to need it for the long journey ahead.
Well, hopefully not that much longer.
Yeah. This is just a little funny remark.
At Newswire US.
Trump to Netanyahu on Gaza talks. Why are you always so fucking negative? Because he is a hateful man, responds one person. Trump tracker.
I don't like to give Trump the benefit of the doubt very often. But I will say that I don't think Trump sees the Gazans as animals like Netanyahu does. So whenever Netanyahu is like, we have to exterminate these dogs, these animals, these vermin. And I think Trump just sees that as being like, buddy, you're really harshing the vibe right now.
You're harshing my buzz, man. Come on.
Yeah.
You're harshing my adrenochrome buzz here, Ben.
Like, we know Trump doesn't like Muslims, but we know that Trump has even said that he's seen the video of kids starving in Gaza. So that's interesting. I guess his handlers weren't able to keep his eyes off of that, because even for someone as deeply morally repugnant as Trump to have seen it and remember it enough that he just says it in public that, yeah, those kids look like they're starving, all right. And then for Netanyahu to be like, they are animals, they are dogs.
They are dogs.
I can see how Trump would be like, yo, dude, just cool it. Cool it on the dehumanizing
Cool your
rhetoric.
jets, Ben. Cool your jets, Benny. Speaking of Donald Trump and peace.
Yes, this was a statement put out after
the White House Twitter
after Hamas said that they would be willing to come to some agreement on some of the terms in the peace plan that was put forward. It's a really terrible peace plan by Trump.
Based on the statement just issued by Hamas, I believe they're ready for a lasting peace. Israel must immediately stop the bombing of Gaza so that we can get the hostages out safely and quickly. This is about the long-sought peace in the Middle East. President Trump.
Israel did not stop the bombing, though. When was this posted? The 3rd.
October 3rd.
4 days ago. How many people has Israel killed in the last 4 days? Probably at least 100.
Yeah.
It was 70 on the day that we went to a rally.
Yeah, we were checking our phones to see how many people Israel had killed since this announcement, and it was a lot.
Yeah, because they don't stop.
No.
Don't stop
till you get enough.
Enough dead Palestinians.
Yeah.
President
Trump.
Another
Hassan post. President Trump, the president of peace. President Trump ended 7 wars in just 7 months. Cambodia and Thailand, Kosovo and Serbia, DRC and Rwanda, Pakistan and India, Israel and Iran, Egypt and Ethiopia, Armenia and Azerbaijan. And Mehdi Hassan says Egypt and Ethiopia weren't at war. Kosovo and Serbia weren't at war. Israel attacked Iran with Trump's blessing, and Trump joined in. The president of the DRC says his war isn't over. The prime minister of India says Trump has nothing to do with his ceasefire with Pakistan.
And even though...
and there's a little context note on this post as well.
Which says that tension is still very much existing between Israel and Iran, and it reinforces that India denied the other thing as well. The only conflict on this list that Mehdi didn't address is the Armenia-Azerbaijan one, and I can add to that.
No, it's there. Oh, yeah.
No, but Mehdi didn't add anything to it. And what I could say is that, no, actually, Azerbaijan has not stopped bombing Armenian villages. They are still doing it.
Still doing it.
So, man, I'm really tired of this dementia president. Is this how it felt to live through the late 80s?
No, fucking Reagan was better put together than this. his dementia didn't set in until after he'd left.
Well, Reagan was surrounded by a lot of the psychos from the Kissinger era.
Yeah.
But Trump was surrounded by those psychos in his first term, but they were too by the book, so they're all gone now.
Yeah.
So yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, he was more contained, I guess. Yeah, it's just disgusting. I really hope Trump doesn't get a Nobel Prize of any kind.
Speaking of the last post, here we have the Prime Minister of Albania coming up to Macron and the Azerbaijani president to joke about how Trump had resolved the conflict.
Quote, yeah, that was one of Trump's recent gaffes, was that he keeps getting the country Azerbaijan wrong. He calls it Azerbaijan or something.
Azerbaijan.
But then he also keeps getting Armenia wrong, and he keeps calling it Albania and Azerbaijan.
Albania and Azerbaijan?
Mm-hmm.
You should make an apology to us. Because you didn't congratulate us for the peace deal that President Trump made between Albania and Azerbaijan.
I'm sorry for that.
Yeah. So, and you worked very hard. He worked very hard. We had 500.
You didn't congratulate us on the peace deal. He worked very hard. That's funny. The Prime Minister of Albania literally came up to them and he had these jokes ready to go. Albania is a cool country. I think that Albania is due for its resurgence in the pop culture sometime. I don't know what it'll take. I was hoping they would win Eurovision last year, but they didn't.
No.
So I hope that they do sometime because they have a really cool culture and they have a good sense of humor. You know that Albania got screwed nationwide in, I think it was the 90s. There was the equivalent of the Nigerian prince scam, but it impacted basically every adult in Albania. They all fell for it. And the entire economy just nosedived because the money was literally stolen. So they have a very bizarre, unique sort of situation there. I think they're mostly fixed now financially, but that is you definitely go read about that if you're a listener. Go read about how Albania got duped by a very big scam.
All right, now that we're done talking about the U.S., fucking finally, and Israel a little bit, let's go over to Manchester, UK.
Which the UK, not in Sharia law.
No.
But they're cracking down on rights anyway. Well, there's been a few things in the UK. This one, I think, specifically is about... there was an attack in the UK. The suspect named Jihad al-Shami was not in possession of a firearm. There was some freak out. Honestly, I don't even remember the details that much at this point, but the cops got too involved and they ended up like shooting innocent people too, or there was like a misfiring of weapons. The police shot 2 of the victims that they blamed on the jihad guy.
And
And
so this was a shoot up at a mosque, apparently. A shoot up at a
yes,
following the terrorist
Hebrew
objectives, Heaton
congregation.
Park. It was at a synagogue.
Yeah,
Middleton Road, Crumpsall. Fucking British ass
it's all
name.
made up.
Further and urgent required inquiries continue. Overnight, we've taken advice from the Home Office ahead of full post-mortem examination scheduled for later today. It is currently believed that the suspect, Jihad al-Shami, was not in possession of a firearm, and only shots fired were from the GMP's authorized firearm officers as they work to prevent the offender from entering the synagogue and causing further harm to the Jewish community. Yep, so just bumbling police.
Yep, dumb Greater Manchester
shooting at
police.
the victims. Yeah, great job.
Good job, Mossad.
I think we're still in the UK here with this next story. The right to protest must be protected, but repeated large protests are leaving communities feeling unsafe. This cannot continue. Oh, this is great. In the UK, the police will be granted new powers to restrict repeat protests when there is a risk of serious public disorder. Again, that could mean anything. That could be anything.
It's just they're terrified. They tried to make the Palestine protests criminal, and they're arresting tons of people for that. But the UK cracking down on right to protest like this is disgusting. And again, it sucks that a supposedly quote unquote labor/liberal government is doing this, because it's like, if it's this bad now under what was supposed to be the more progressive wing of the electorate, then what the hell is it going to be like when the pendulum swings the other way in 4 years, and then there's like conservative supermajorities elected all over the world? Like, how much worse is it going to get that these pathetic so-called progressive leaders are cutting people's rights just willy-nilly like this? It sucks. And it leaves me terrified for what the future will hold. But from the UK to France. This is pretty much news from the last 24 hours. A new government was established, and then less than a day after, the French Prime Minister resigned. So that leaves President Macron, in his historically low approval ratings, the opportunity to once again select another Prime Minister. Yeah, man, that's so pathetic. And it's because Macron is a centrist that he keeps trying to appoint, I think, centrist or slightly right-wing prime ministers. And in order for his party to maintain their legislative hold, they are partnered with somewhat with the left. I can see here in the article, French politics have been in disarray since Macron called snap elections last year that produced a deeply fragmented legislature and a political impasse. Far-right and left-wing lawmakers hold over 320 seats at the National Assembly, while the centrists and allied conservatives hold 210, with no party having an overall majority. So essentially, the left they want to be the kingmakers, but Macron is not playing ball with them. And that's why the governments keep collapsing, is because he keeps trying to appoint these allied conservative people to be the prime minister. And then the left and the other parties are saying, hell no, like, no, but he won't appoint a progressive prime minister.
Yeah.
And
he's got the fence post is firmly stuck up his ass because he's fence riding so hard.
Macron kind of feels like similar to a Justin Trudeau. At this point, honestly, like he had a lot of goodwill, but he's kind of squandered it all, and now the French people are just waiting for him to get out of the way.
They're just done with him. Going to Morocco now.
Another Gen Z protest similar to Nepal.
Yeah. At least 3 people have been killed in Morocco after police opened fire on a crowd of protesters. The Gen Z-led demonstrations are rooted in public frustration over poor healthcare, education, and public services, and fueled by anger at the government's decision to prioritize building stadiums for the 2030 FIFA World Cup instead of improving essential services.
Yeah. While I would enjoy a World Cup in Morocco, absolutely the government should have its priorities in order. But, most don't. And it's great to see that Gen Z are willing to put themselves potentially in harm's way to get this stuff done, to get out there.
It needs to happen in America. This is what needs to happen in America.
And in Nepal, it actually worked.
Yep,
they actually got a female prime minister for the first time. And it was basically the person that the Gen Z folks were saying should be the leader. And so she is going to lead the country into a new series of elections. And I'm not quite sure what the political situation in Morocco is exactly. I don't think they have a dictator. I don't think I've heard that. I could be wrong, but same diff. It's one of those countries that desperately needs a little bit of modernization, and Gen Z is not going to take it anymore.
They need that healthcare, education, and public services. That's what
everyone needs that.
Some hopium here at the end of the world section. Japan has granted increased protections for same-sex couples, allowing them to be recognized as de facto marriages under 9 more laws. Still not same-sex marriage like outright, but getting very close.
Yeah, and this also happening at the same time that Japan has a female prime minister too, that they just their conservative majority just picked, and she's apparently a bit of a far-right lunatic. So this feels a little cognitively dissonant to me. And I don't know if this will hold up if the conservatives.
This could all go away with the next prime minister.
There was a clip that I think I had before or shared of the new female prime minister of Japan saying that people should work harder and that the war crimes committed by Japan in the Second World War were actually totally cool and based. So, mixed bag out of Japan, but I guess you can be gayer now. So that's something.
Cool. Yay. Let's go to Japan.
No.
All right. Now we're in the right-wing trash section. This fucking douchebag.
Mike Cernovich.
Mike Cernovich.
Oh, he's one of the chief propagandists of the far-right MAGA conspiracy movement. I believe he also served jail time, but I could be wrong.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, I'll let you take care of this.
He posts, in an alternate timeline, Kamala Harris is in office. By now, over 5 million gang members are in the country. Elon is in prison. Trump is dead. X is controlled by the DNC. I'm dead or in a gulag. Your family is being rounded up, about to be murdered. We were that close. Please, my penis can only get so hard. Please don't threaten me with a good time.
This is like what we were just saying earlier, that even when they win outright majorities everywhere in every level of the government, they can't be happy.
They still have to complain.
They need an enemy. They need to live in fear of an imaginary situation that didn't happen so that they can feel like they're doing the right thing. And what are they talking about? People being rounded up. Is that not happening right now? I did leave a comment on this.
Yeah, you should read that in your voice here.
Keep making up things to be scared of while your own party fails to govern and provide for the needs of the American people. I just hope they remember how to rise up against tyranny, because your name is definitely on the list. Yeah, Cernovich is a loser.
Lamau.
Elon is in prison.
Yeah, I wish.
I mean, for all the tax and financial crimes that he's already been on the record doing, boy, that would be something. Rich people paying for their crimes under any administration, you can tell that Cernovich doesn't live anywhere close to reality. Did a single banker go to jail after 2008, Cernovich?
No, they did not.
No, they did not.
Now, going back to the protest that we were talking about earlier, we finally have the frog man here, the famous...
The frog suit wreaking havoc.
The Portland frog. That's what people have been calling it.
For our YouTube viewers, check out how deliberate this attempted murder is.
Yeah, spraying pepper spray into the ventilation hole
of
this costume, the intake hole. That could have killed this person, straight up.
Trapped inside, and all they have to breathe is pepper spray. Yeah, that's an act of terrorism. That's attempted murder. And if we look at the post that this is quoted in, it's from a fella named One Hand Politics, Mason, from a lot of Jubilee videos. He's a really smart, progressive type. He said, the harmless individual in a goofy costume is now in a sealed bag with only pepper spray to breathe. This is state terror. And the likes and views on this post is pretty insane.
Yep.
11 million views and almost 500,000 likes, pretty much.
Yep, 355K. Wow.
It is state terror. It's state-sanctioned terror.
They tried to kill the poor frog man. Hasn't Pepe suffered enough?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Feels bad, man.
Oh,
I don't want to play
we're
any of this.
Yeah, we're not going to play this because Nintendo's going to jump down our throats. But basically all you need to know is the Department of Homeland Security posted a video of them Oh, no!
No, it's going to do the audio.
Yeah, here they are.
For our YouTube viewers, there's a montage of ICE and their war crimes and, violations of human rights set gleefully to the Pokemon theme song.
Gotta catch 'em all.
To which Nintendo issued a very weak sauce statement where they were like, we don't condone it and we didn't provide permission for them to do this, but we're not going to do anything because they're the United States selling games in America. Because if there's anything that American goonsumers are good at, it's just brainlessly buying the next thing, and they love doing it for Nintendo. So why rock the boat? Let the administration piss all over your IP. Why not? Who cares? You want access to the market, don't you?
Yeah. They're too big. They're too big to go after. Disgusting.
Mm-hmm. And this is definitely a right-wing trash meme. I like the caption more so than anything. If my child sees a gay person on TV, they're being indoctrinated. But if they imitate a drooling, bigoted podcaster, well, gosh, that's just inspiring.
For the listeners, we have an image posted by the Turning Point USA Twitter account, where it's a little girl watching Charlie Kirk on TV with a microphone, and she's got a hairbrush pretending it's a microphone, and she's debating her stuffed animals. And one of them has a 47 cap on. So it's not much of a debate, is it? Because the audience and the debater are both on the same side.
Yeah, it's not
so it's not a debate even. It's just an echo chamber. Good job. You fail. Fuck me, man.
Yeah, I will say one kind thing, I guess, because
probably AI generated.
I was going to say it doesn't look AI generated. It
looks real.
Far more deliberate than any AI slop that I've seen. It looks like it was actually drawn by a person. And mostly probably because I really wanted to get the look of Charlie right, I would say, is the only reason. It's not AI.
Some of these replies are pretty dank, though. Someone posted, Charlie Kirk was a white supremacist. KKK Super Hitler 88. You clearly did not take the time to watch his videos. I'm 10 years old. You will have your rapist's child.
Yeah, that's the sad thing with this picture, is that we know what Charlie's politics were.
Yeah. If this young girl was assaulted in a sexual manner, she would have to keep the baby. Just keep that in mind. That's what Charlie Kirk wanted.
Mm-hmm.
Just keep that in mind.
Yep. That's the Turning Point USA.
Oh, here we go. Some JD Vance memes. I've got a couple of them here.
Yeah. Well, in response to, and we don't have a clip of this because, again, we try to differentiate our clips from what the late night guys have. But, in response to the ongoing government shutdown in America, the White House account has been posting really gross AI videos of like Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries, the Democrat heads of the Senate and the House, wearing like sombreros with mustaches photoshopped on and then playing like mariachi music behind them, because the lie that the Trump admin is really pushing is that the reason that the Democrats shut the government down is because they want to give free healthcare to illegals, transgender for everyone. These are the things that
trans for everyone.
This is what they're I'm quoting
Oprah?
Verbatim. Yeah. This is literally what they think. And Oprah, speaking of useless billionaires who haven't done anything to help the progressive cause. But anyway, JD Vance took the stand at one of the White House press briefings and was asked point blank what he thought and if it was appropriate in negotiating to post these images. And JD Vance was like, it's a good-natured, funny meme. That's what he said. Oh, and the memes will stop when they come to their senses. And so Stephen Colbert, our best buddy on late night, who definitely doesn't pull punches now that his show has been canceled, posted a really, well, I mean, how would you describe this? As a good-natured, funny meme?
Yeah, I'd say it's pretty good-natured. I think it's pretty funny. I don't really give a shit what JD Vance thinks.
Yeah, it's a really good
I like the
gif.
Sombrero bouncing on his butt as he fucks the couch.
Yes, so for our
quite a sight to behold.
Non-visual listeners, there is a great little gif of JD Vance just love humping a couch with a sombrero bouncing on his behind. It's not explicit, it is blurred, so you can watch it for hours. And just remember that this is the vice president, and this is what he does. No retraction.
I love how he's right over the crack.
Allegedly needed.
He's right over the crack of the couch, so it's going right in there.
It's going right in the crack.
Yeah.
Yep.
Lovely. Love to see it. Here's some more JD Vance dankness posted by Gavin Newsom's press office.
Governor Gavin Newsom.
Poor JD. His sweet beloved couch now costs more with the tariffs.
And it is AI slop, but man, if there ever was AI slop to meet the president where he's pushed the rhetoric to, this is it. This really is it.
Welcome to my show, A History of Couches. I'm your host, JD Vance, and we've got a special episode for you today. Some artifacts shape nations, others shape desires, few shape both. The Chesterfield couch is one of them. Commissioned by Lord Philip Stanhope, the 4th Earl of Chesterfield. This sofa was designed for posture, elegance, and control. Deep button tufting, rolled arms, a back and sides of equal height. A design that did not merely support the body, but contained it. Once reserved for aristocrats, the Chesterfield spread into libraries, parlors, and now living rooms worldwide. But its allure has never diminished. There are rumors that I once had an encounter with a Chesterfield. People exaggerate, twist the truth. But when you sit on one, you understand where such stories
the way
come
his
from.
hands fail to
The
interlace
Chesterfield isn't
really
just furniture.
Weird.
It's an experience.
Oh, God.
And some
That's
of
weird.
us know that a little too well. Thank you for watching A History of Couch.
History of couches. Wow.
Yeah, just remember, JD Vance likes to dance against the couch cushions.
Lastly, last story of the night. We've been found out. There's furries in the military. Ring the alarm bells.
At Libs of TikTok, received from a follower. Furries at an official military event. Can you please look into this? At SecWar.
Secretary of War. Laughing at the, and then Polling USA says, laughing at the idea of people being shocked the Navy has furries in it. Like, yeah, it's the Navy. Now salute them and move on.
I saw another funny post about it because we talked about Trump's speech to the generals, but they were also doing speeches to the Navy because it's going to be the 250th year anniversary of the Navy. And there was like a whole thing. He went to Virginia, Trump and Hegseth, and they did speeches there. And I saw someone posted a meme of like Hegseth in front of the Navy, and he's talking about like there's no more diversity we're not focused on that anymore in the U.S. Armed Forces or whatever. And the person posted like Hegseth, you're the only straight man on this boat for like a Navy crew.
Yeah,
like
pretty
you're
much
the diversity here. And I know a lot of people that served in the U.S. I even know people that served in the Navy, and I even know furries that served in the American Navy.
Yep.
So
furries are everywhere, dude.
Not just
Army, not the military, but the IT. They make lots of technology stuff. They're everywhere, dude. There might be even furries in this video right now. Whoa. Furries? What? Where?
On my political podcast?
Whoa. But yeah, this is ridiculous. If you try to wipe out furries, you'll wipe out like half your military and most of your IT department.
And a lot of the replies to this post are very positive too. There's people being like, hey, there were furries in the Wagner Group uprising in Russia in 2023. Remember that? Remember when Putin was crapping his little pants because his own private military turned on him? Remember that?
Yeah.
That was a pretty epic time. And then Putin killed the leader by shooting his plane down. So
the Navy has furries. Okay, the kitchen has dishes. This isn't new information.
Libs of TikTok is perpetually offended by everything. They are the biggest snowflake in the world.
Oh yeah, I didn't even post the video of them reacting to Gore, because Gore was on stage and they decapitated like a Trump puppet. Remember that?
Yes,
we had a story on that, but I didn't post it. But everyone in the replies was like, "Dude, this is just what Gore does. This is just their shtick. They've been doing this for 20 plus years to all the different presidents."
I remember when America used to think that individual freedom to be happy and do things was primary to, fitting in like some sort of conformist machine. But, even in the Navy, I don't even know what event this is from or what military event this is. There's clearly like a costume party of some sort going on here. And you getting offended at what people choose to bring to a costume party? Shut the fuck up. And you know what? Maybe just like remove yourself from the planet. Just delete yourself from existence. If you can't even stomach letting other people do things for fun, even if it's not everything's about you. Okay. That's a huge thing that is like so forgotten, I guess you could say. I don't even want to say it's like forgotten, like it's some like age old lost to time belief. But, you don't need to go into every single person's bedroom that you disagree with and make sure that they are living by your standard. You don't need to do that, lives of TikTok. Okay? You could just stop. You could just try and, live a fulfilling life.
Just try to be happy. Try to make your own happiness. That's not based off the misery of others. Maybe try that.
Yeah. Or
try to have a little smile.
Deriving your happiness off of the conformity of everyone else around you to your societal standard. That's not the America that I grew up believing in.
As a Canadian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean.
All right. Holy shit. We're at over 2 hours now. This is our longest episode yet. I know we've said that.
We bounced around.
We did bounce
around a lot of different things, but yeah, this is definitely the record for us. We'll see how it comes out in the edit.
Yeah. In terms of movies that we watched recently, I don't want to get too much into details because we're already past the 2 hour mark, but we watched M. Night Shyamalan's The Village.
Don't let them in.
Well, it's not a new movie, but yes,
it was pretty good. I saw it in theaters when I was a kid, and I remember
I just saw it for the first time with you.
It's way better than Signs, I'll give you that.
Which I haven't seen.
Critics were creaming their pants over Signs, and I knew even as a kid that it sucked. But The Village is where people say that the M. Night Shyamalan
people?
Yeah, The Village people. People say that The Village is where M. Night Shyamalan...
Navy.
Shut up. People say The Village is where M. Night Shyamalan started to slip in terms of quality, but I think it's way better than Signs.
Yeah, like I said, as someone who hasn't seen Signs, I didn't dislike The Village. I thought that there were... it was a bit... the dialogue was not great, but in terms of like potential within what was in the movie, I think that there was far more that could have been done right as opposed to stuff being done wrong. And when I'm watching a movie, I don't tend to criticize it as harshly or judge it as harshly if I feel that some explored thematic element is, if it exists within the movie, that's good. If it's done well, that's even better. But if it's done badly, then I get upset. And The Village just had a lot of good ideas that weren't necessarily handled the best, but I'm not going to knock it because they weren't done poorly. So I would still say The Village was like a 6 or a 7.
Yeah, it was a 6.
And the cast ridiculously stacked. And it was Jesse Eisenberg's
first
main Hollywood movie. So that's pretty neat.
Adrian Brody was in it. Sigourney Weaver is in it. I totally forgot she
Future
was in that
2-time Oscar winner Adrian Brody.
Yeah. The lead, the blind chick, she was played by somebody important.
Rose Howard. She's from like the Jurassic World movies that came later. Really good. Pretty good.
And we also watched a horror movie called Marshmallow.
He's a doctor. He's real.
It is spooky season.
Yes, that is the new one.
We took a chance on a new movie that just came out like this year, and this is like a campfire horror story kind of movie. It was really good. It's got
pretty
a
low
very
budget,
young cast,
but they used the budget well. They didn't need to pull in some A-list actor.
Young cast of kids.
Job.
Yep, young cast of kids, all very well acted.
I don't want to spoil
spoilers.
Too much. There was one review that I read to you when we were looking into the movie that someone said like, it's kind of a new spin on an old classic, but it's done very well, tastefully.
Mm-hmm.
And I would agree. I think Marshmallow is probably like an 8.
Yeah, that was easily an 8 for me.
And like, too, another thing to factor in when I give my personal scores on movies is the length, Like The Village started to feel a little bit long, but I was like, isn't it 2 hours? But you were like, no, it's actually under 2 hours. And like, I think they could have done a better edit of The Village that had better pacing and probably could have gotten it to about an hour 40, hour 30.
Mm-hmm.
But Marshmallow was like an hour 30
perfect length.
And it never dragged at all.
Yeah.
There was no point where I was like, oh, what's the point of this scene? Everything seemed to lead to something. And that is a really good feeling to have when watching a horror film.
Yeah,
you don't feel like your time's been wasted and everything's being set up to build to something, some payoff. So good job to Marshmallow for being a good movie.
Yeah. And there you go. Episode 10, Woke in the West.
Woke in the West. Well, do you think there will be a crash by the next episode?
I don't think so.
Make your predictions now. Vote in the comments.
Predictions now.
I'm always saying yes, so I'm always hoping for it. Right. I hope you guys have a good couple weeks.
Time to go make some food. I am hungry.
Yes, time to eat while we still can.
Yes.
Afford to eat. That is.